Y'all know how much I love living here in Music City, but today I'm going to show you by introducing you to some of my favorite people, food, music, and products that are native to Nashville. We'll kick off today's show in the kitchen by learning how to make a craveable BiBimBap bowl from a restaurant that's about to be featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Then I'm showing you 5 inexpensive ways to express gratitude with gifts that come from right here in Tennessee. Next, you won't want to miss a conversation I have with 1996 Gold-Medal Olympic Gymnast Dominique Moceanu. Finally, I'm taking you straight to the red carpet of the new documentary, The Jesus Music, and sharing a surprise no one saw coming. Trust me, there is so much going on in today's show that you don't want to miss it. So let's get started, because this is the Sami Cone Show.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Sami Cone Show.
If you like discovering hidden gems of restaurants in Nashville, or if you're a fan of diners, drive-ins, and dives, I've got a treat for you today because we are talking with one of my favorite chefs, Kenji from Soy Bistro. Kenji, welcome to the Sami Cone Show.
It is such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me on here. I'm excited.
It's really just a ploy so I can eat this food. That's all that
it's working.
It worked.
Listen,
I got him
100%.
here.
So you kidding me?
You're making literally, I say it's crave-worthy. I literally crave this. It's BiBimBap. Am I saying that right?
You said it perfect. BiBimBap,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It means mixed meal, so it's this wonderful meal with like veggies and you know, starch and protein, just a little bit of everything. A nice balance with a sauce that represents sweet and spice.
It's got a little bit of everything, like you said. I think that's why I
does.
love it so much, and I think that's why our family loves going, is because you can really do whatever you want with it. So,
it's 100% right.
Can you tell us how to get this started and kind of talk us through all the components?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few ways to eat it, but at our restaurant, like you enjoy, it's having crispy rice. That's something super special, and I've tried to do it on other using like pans and all that. Skillet's the best way, and especially being in the South, you should have a skillet.
You should have a cast iron skillet, right?
You better have a cast iron skillet.
Or looking like the Cold Space. Whoever lived there before, you should have one in there. Yeah.
You'll find one in the shed.
I love it.
So what you do is you take your cast iron skillet. You want to, put a good amount of vegetable oil down there, and then use your rice. Make some rice, pre-make some rice. You can either have it from the day before.
That is okay. I was going to ask.
100%.
Okay.
It is. I would prefer just do it at the same time.
Yeah.
But again, when you're crisping up rice, that's your base.
Okay.
All these other goodies, when you should mix this together, but any way you want to eat it, I think you're going to enjoy it. And again, it's built around an incredible sauce that brings that sweet and the spicy aspect. We're going to add a couple other things.
Okay, well, let's get to that. I hear it sizzling right now, and you actually serve it in the skillet at Soy Bistro.
We do. We love. And you can.
I know you can get it without it, but
why? Why? Exactly.
I wasn't going to mention that. Why would you do that?
If you want the experience,
right?
That's what you want. It's going to have this wonderful. If you were to smell the rice when it's done, when it's crisp, it almost smells like popcorn.
Yeah, it does.
So it's that wonderful. You're getting this wonderful aroma out of it while you build on top of it before you just dig in and
right. So do you have to wait for that to cook? Do you put everything else in the pan?
No, I wait because I think it's just easier when you take like a spatula or something to look at your rice, especially if you're first starting out doing this. I have burnt plenty of them because I thought I knew, just taking a guess, or I've undercooked it.
Okay.
If you're going to take the time to make this wonderful dish, you want to make it right.
Okay, so what else are we adding to the BiBimBap?
So what we would do is, you want to you can really add anything. I think that's what's so great about this. Look in your fridge or take some of your favorite vegetables. We love to use 2 things that have natural sweetness. So we're going to use onions, which we already caramelized.
Perfect.
And so I'll show you if that's okay. So I would take the onions, not with my hands at the restaurant, I promise. But you're just going to build. And you want to, you still want presentation.
Sure.
And again, we're going to mix it later.
Okay.
We're going to definitely do carrots.
Yep.
Right.
And as you're doing that, we've just got a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
You've got a really special airing. You were visited by Guy Fieri. Did I make that sound that right?
I'm sure you said
Diners,
it
drive-ins,
perfectly.
and
When I
dives?
said I was, I was super nervous, but we were blessed enough to have him consider us at first, along with other restaurants in Tennessee, and in the end, we were lucky enough for him to choose our restaurant and just visit our little restaurant and bless us with his presence.
Absolutely.
He was inspiring, but his energy and just his well wishes upon us.
Well, you have that energy too. What did you just put in there? You've got mushrooms?
Yeah, sorry. So you got some mushrooms. You've got pickled veggies here. You've got your, I like something fresh, so just cut any type of lettuce. Romaine usually has that nice crunch.
Yep.
So So that's great.
And as we're finishing up, we're
yeah.
running out of time. I know
Yeah,
you
of
would
course.
normally cook an egg, and what sauces
you
would
do
you
an egg.
Uh-huh.
You do any protein you want.
Okay.
Beef. We use flank steak at the restaurant, but you can
so
also
good.
sub it for chicken. I have people that do shrimp.
Tofu even, right?
Absolutely. If
Yeah.
you're vegetarian, if you're
Yep.
vegan, we can definitely make something just as good
Okay.
for those that love meat. We add a little bit of sesame seed oil. You know, we would just sprinkle on. That's gonna balance it out, give it a nuttiness. Add
What
some
oil
scallions.
would you do with for the egg? You
so
do
the
this-
egg,
let's just get it going.
Yeah,
even if we don't have time
I like
to-
it sunny side up.
Okay.
So you know, if I add some oil, I'm gonna.
Oil. Okay.
Because I like the presentation
I
again.
agree.
And I think the yolk adds that nice, you know, you want a little bit of that runniness to balance that out as well, to add flavor. So, and that's it. I mean, you know.
No, that is not it,
That's not
Kenji.
it, I'm
You
sorry.
forgot the most important thing, the sauce.
I did. Okay. Well, are we running out of time? I thought the spoiler was they can come here and I would, you know.
It is, but I need you to talk about the sauce for a second.
So the gochujang is for us the key to this dish. I mean, it's, you know, you see the presentation, but the gochujang, which you can buy at stores, it's going to be, if you were to take it out of the package, it's going to have a lot of sweetness. It's going to have that spice. We doctor it up. We like to make it in-house. So we're going to add soy. We add roasted sesame seeds. We add some sesame seed oil just to balance it out. It almost creates a creamierness because it's going to be very heavy. And
Well,
rich.
as we end, tell people where they can find you and when you're going to be on Diners, Drive-Ins,
I
and
appreciate
Dives.
it. So we're going to be 5008 Maryland Way. We're right in Brentwood. We love Brentwood. That's right off the 65. We're right next to a Backyard Burger, and we share a building with a cleaner. So we are a dive because you're not even going to see our sign.
And you're on Friday?
We're on Friday, October 15th, at I
Awesome.
believe 8 o'clock Central.
Thank you so much,
we're
Kenji.
excited.
Go to Soy
Thank you.
Bistro. You're going to want to taste this. Thanks for being here, Kenji.
Thank you so much.
This
I
is so With the holidays rapidly approaching, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to want to express our thanks, but how can we do so meaningfully and frugally? Don't worry, I've got you. I'm sharing 5 of my favorite ways to express gratitude inexpensively. So I've kind of broken it down into categories. The first is if you're going to someone's house for a meal or for a party, I always recommend bringing a little something to drink. You could bring wine. I don't drink wine. So I found this non-alcoholic rosé, which is really amazing. And I got most of what you'll see here at Batch, Nashville, all for under $20, most for around $10. There is this beautifully etched wine glass you'll see with Nashville on it. So just something sweet. And another tip I have is to wrap things in a kitchen towel. These cheers, y'all, thanks, y'all, go in almost every gift basket that I give because they're so great for Nashville. So you've got that. Now, what if you're staying at someone's house over the holidays? I always want to do something that's really thoughtful that represents Nashville. So we've got this Nashville mug, the Nashville candles. You can actually put different cities on those if you're watching from somewhere else. You could take a picture of their home and do it in black and white, put it in a frame, or I had my daughter write this cute saying in a frame. We've got the coasters there. They have the Tennessee stars on them. So that's another great idea. Now, if you're wanting to do a gift for teachers, I always say send out a little note that helps them to tell you their favorite thing. So that way you can do a gift card plus something thoughtful like stationery and a pencil set or their favorite food. You can even buy something like this at Michael's. It usually goes on sale for $5. You could put their initials on the note cards. It's a really sweet gift. Okay, what if someone is new to the neighborhood? A lot of people move over the holidays. Go ahead and bake something or cook something, but give it to them in something that they can keep. I love this sourdough bread. This is an apple fritter bread that I used with this cider that I got from Trader Joe's. Again, really inexpensive, really easy. You could add the Loveless jam there. Also, just make sure, again, you're giving it in something that they can keep with them. Also, I love for new homeowners, it's just a tote like this and then some homemade cleaning products. I've got my homemade lemon vinegar there, a scrub brush. You know they're gonna need it, so why not give it to them? You could also get a magazine subscription really inexpensively or make them some homemade mailing labels with their new address. And finally, chances are someone might be feeling a little under the weather, so go ahead and just give them a nice mug, a tea set. We've got that local honey with the dipper, and that's some way to say, you know what, I'm thinking about you, and it opens a door that if they do need more help, it's something simple enough to just say, I'm thinking of you, and if you need something, I'm here for you, whether it's a death in the family or a kid being sick. So this is just a sample of ideas. I've got a full list on SamiCone.com along with where you can go to find everything you need to express gratitude to someone in your life. With mental health on the forefront of everyone's minds these days, especially in the world of sport, I could not be more honored to have this conversation with Olympic gold medalist Dominique Moceanu. Dominique, welcome to the show.
Hello, nice to be with you.
Thank you. Before we get into everything, I just have to ask, I was actually in the stands in Atlanta in '96 when you won your gold medal. And if anyone thinks it's impressive to watch on TV, it's even more impressive what you do in person. Can you just give us some thoughts on the past Olympic Games and what those young women were able to accomplish?
Well, the pandemic certainly threw the Olympic, year into extension. So many of the gymnasts had to stay around an extra year, and all of the Olympians had to stay around an extra year. But I know in our sport in particular, it is very tough to stick around an extra year. But I'm really proud of Team USA and all of the great accomplishments that went on, even without an audience in the Olympic arena. And it's really hard to compete without an audience sometimes. I think people don't really understand that. But I'm really proud of everyone for stepping up and also sticking around, because it was really hard to push in that last year when, they thought they were going to compete in 2020 originally.
Absolutely. I mean, it's impressive to watch. It's impressive even what you're continuing to do outside of your sport. And, I have a copy of your book, Off Balance, in my hand. I had simultaneous tears and chills even in the first chapter. But if you would allow me, there's something you said at the very end of the book. You said, "It was never the sport that harmed me. It was the self-serving adults surrounding the sport at the elite level who harmed me." And I just want to say, what motivates you now, even, these decades later, to continue to speak up on behalf of other people that have suffered some of the same pain that you have?
Well, I think I became just so passionate from a very early age when I saw injustice happening to my mother. She worked essentially as an indentured servant for the Carolis, and she came from a different culture. So I just saw a lot of injustices growing up in that regard. And then I saw it happening to athletes as I started to mature. And I could not articulate it as a teenager, but once I became old enough and wise enough to have a voice, I started to use it. And a lot of people didn't like me for that. For 10 years, I became a social pariah in our sport, and I became alienated and outcast and nearly wiped from the history books because I spoke up sounding the alarms about abuse. But I became very passionate about it because it was wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm a Libra, and a Libra likes to find the balance in things, likes to fight for justice, and is a warrior in that sense. So I think it just resonated with me very deeply, and I was relentless over the years, and I stayed on top of it until results came.
Yeah, and you have been. And I think, what encouragement would you have for others as a fellow abuse survivor? I feel like sometimes we feel like, well, our time has passed. It's too late for me to speak up. What would you say to the woman or young woman that feels that way, like it's too late for me to share my story?
Well, it's never too late, because you don't know who you're going to help. And someone has a very similar story to yours. And many people hide in the shadows with these stories, and they're never able to get them out because they're afraid. And you're not the only one. So if you think you're alone, just remember, I know I felt I was alone for so many years, but you're not alone. There are other people out there. Once you start to open up, that's the only time you'll start to find out. So just remember, you can make a change and a difference in your community, and with your families, and all of that, and with your children. So it is never too late to open up and receive help if you need it. All of these things are accessible if you start to open up about it and start to seek help.
Yes, absolutely. As we wrap up, I know that you own your own gym. You encourage your own children in the sport of gymnastics. How do you encourage both your own children and your gymnasts to really pursue their dreams? What advice do you have as we leave today?
Well, when you walk through the doors of our gym, there's this sign on the wall. It's actually a painting that says "Practice with Integrity." And I think that is something that I preach every day, and our gymnasts understand the value of hard work, discipline, work ethic. Those kinds of things are things that we instill in our program. And I know that that will help them for the rest of their lives. We want a safe gymnastics program and yoga program. We want to make sure children are coming here and enjoying what they do, but also safety is number one. And I keep eyes on that all the time to make sure that the culture is changing with every single gym club, and it begins with us. So we have to lead that change.
Thank you, Dominique. Her book and her memoir, Off Balance, is available where books are sold. Dominique, thank you for sharing your story and continuing to champion the next generation.
Thank you.
If you've ever been curious about how Christian music got its start, then you're going to want to watch the new documentary, The Jesus Music. I recently had a chance to attend the red carpet premiere here in Nashville and chat with some of the stars, and it did not disappoint. Let's take a look. If you've wondered where some of your favorite Christian songs came from, started, how this Jesus music started in the first place, tonight's the night to find out. We're at the Jesus Music premiere. We're going to be talking to some of your favorite icons of Christian music and hear the stories behind some of the songs and the artists themselves.
Nobody's looked at the full history of Christian contemporary music and the people, the trailblazers that created it. And for the first time in history, they're all off the road at this moment in time.
Is this a representation of any meaning, the light and dark tonight?
Well, we are.
Maybe.
No.
I think it's, hey, why not? It's as easy as changing outfits, getting along with people, you know? Color is to be celebrated, not to be feared. The beauty of the human race is found in the diversity. Let's be diverse.
Michael Tate, I didn't know you were going to bring world peace tonight. Wow.
Okay, so here's the deal. When I was young, right, there were certain things that I didn't like to eat. It wasn't because I didn't like the taste of it. It's because I didn't know what it tastes like.
I think it's because it has more than just a beat, more than just a groove. It's because it actually means something. A lot of music now doesn't, and it's easier to get into. It's like eating, chicken nuggets or something. It's simple. It's simple. Everybody can get into it. It's a lot less like asparagus, where you have to actually think about it and like it.
For me to separate, hey, it is entertainment. Christian music is very important, but without a relationship with Christ, you're going to get jaded pretty quickly. And
well, I just know at the end of the day, you're either feeding your soul or you're feeding other things that might take you down roads that you wish you had never gone down.
The arts were always the religious arts. It's only in the modern context, in the last 50 years or so, that the religious music sort of lost, Jesus music lost that rightful place.
The amazing thing is to see it from the standpoint of a trailblazer. When you look at any kind of niche genre, whether it's film or music, you can say it's cheesy or it's churchy or whatever, but when you look at it through the eyes of a trailblazer, somebody that says, there's nobody else out there that looks or sounds like me, and I want to do my music that connects with my people, and to see them fight for that trailblazing spirit, and you see that continuing now. So you see people like Lauren Daigle and For King and Country and Lecrae, and people that are kind of blazing trails that didn't exist before, that's really blurring a lot of those lines. So I say the future is exciting, but we owe it a lot to the trailblazers that started it.
There's truth in a lot of forms of music. It's not just Christian music. It's not just Jesus music. It's not just God. There's truth in there's amazing writers throughout the world that speak truth and are honest and want to enrich people's lives, want to awaken their souls. I would just say, find something that feeds your soul and turns your eyes to something bigger than you. And for me, that's the King.
Well, this is something that I wish I would have learned a long time ago. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about you. And the sooner you find that out, the quicker that you'll be able to fulfill your destiny.
I would just challenge the younger generation to be open-minded and to be thankful for the people that have gone before us, because we'll continue to grow and change as we get older, but we can't truly do that and truly grow unless we're thankful and appreciate the people that have gone before us. So.
I would stop and ask the question, are you the answer to this? Are you the solution? Are you the person